What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, Prison POV. Shout out to the joiners, shout out to the point of view crew, and trip on this. So there's a bond that exists and can be created between two inmates if they just so happen to have caught their first turns together at the same time. For instance, I could think of a handful of dudes that when I was in county jail fighting my first felony, they also were in county jail fighting their first felony. We went through the court system together, got sentenced to prison, went to law school on the same bus, went off to prison. It's called coming up together. And I could think of several dudes that I came up with, go to prison together for the first time, and just over the years of being in and out in that revolving door, you just keep on seeing them, and it's like, what's up, homeboy, what's up, brother? It's a brotherhood for sure. It's a bond. And one of those dudes who I came up with, his name is Billy. And I always had a lot of love and respect for Billy. I mean, for one, I knew he could sing good, and he was quick to do so. Not only that, I knew his dad. His name was Billy as well, and had a lot of love and respect for that fool. He was a straight up old school gangster, always down to ride. Just a good dude, a good homeboy. But Billy, the son, the one who I came up with, had a character flaw. There's something that he would do, and I frown upon it, I condemn it, and that is sleeping with homeboy's old ladies. I disapprove, homeboy, and I'll call it out. If it happens in my presence, I'll put a stop to it. I just don't think there's ever a good enough excuse. I just think it's foul. It's all the way wrong. You should never mess with your homeboy's old ladies. Period. And so Billy would do that. And one time, I guess he probably bit off a little bit more than he could chew because he messed with this dude, Shameless's old lady. And to get a run back and to make a statement, I guess you could say, Shameless tattooed on his side, hella big, Billy, with his last name, is my bitch. That's not a public call out. I don't know what is. And that's why, after that tattoo took place, everyone was waiting to see what was going to happen. And that's why everyone was very disappointed, to say the least. When they finally landed on the same yard together. Shameless was on Wasco A Yard Building 2, was main line. Billy was on Wasco A Yard Building 4 in reception. Shameless is coming to yard. Everyone knows about the tattoo, and he's representing, and he's wanting some of Billy's ass. And Billy is hiding in a cell on hush. How do I know? Because I was there. I saw it all go down, and it broke my heart to see. Not only was Billy all the way in his cell, probably against the very back wall, as deep as he can get up in there, but he had the lights off, 24/7. He was just on hush, is the best way to put it. And so that's why, I guess it's easy to see in hindsight, how these kind of things happen. When Billy got out of Wasco Reception, Billy 4, of being on hush, when he got out, he came right back and went to county jail and started overcompensating. Probably because he felt guilty, he felt bad about just in front of everybody, laying down and licking his nuts. So he shows up at county jail, homeboy, and he just starts putting in work. He just starts letting her rip. He just starts beating everybody down, catching all these batteries. And by now, he's a seasoned vet. He has no business putting in work. That's for the youngsters to go around beating people up in county jail for messing up. But Billy wanting to make a stand, I guess wanting everyone, remind everyone, let him know he still got it. He was running around beating everybody up. And when I heard that, I was just like, well, who's he beating up people for? Who had the keys to the yard? Who was he trying to impress? And I just couldn't believe it, or actually I could believe it, when they told me who had the yard. Because speak of overcompensating, they said that Hoodwood from Taft had the yard. And bro, imagine that, because Hoodwood is my victim from Soledad. I victimized him, I sent him to the hole on PC status, he was deemed no good at Soledad, and what happens? He paroles from there, comes right back to county jail, and immediately works himself into a leadership position. To overcompensate, and also to catch any kites that might come in, that call him out for what he is. Or to put that green light on him. Someone might see him at court, someone might see him at visiting, someone might hear these there, someone in max mead or someone in pre-trial, and they might shoot a kite to the farm. Not knowing who has the building, who has the yard, just, hey, to who may concern, hey, woodpile, Hoodwood's no good. But guess who's going to get that kite? Hoodwood. He worked himself in a leadership position, kind of brilliant, happens all the time. Dudes that have skeletons in their closets will try to get to the very top so that no one could get them. Hard to get got when you're at the top, but it happens. So imagine that. Hoodwood's in there. He'd already been deemed no good. And Billy is feeling some type of way because he was on hush at Building 4 and he's out there overcompensating, putting in work. Now the next time I see Billy is right back at Wasco Reception, Building 5. And I don't know if he's overcompensating. I think he maybe got all that out of the system, but he's definitely representing. He's definitely not on hush. In fact, he's thugging. He's acting all high power. He's politicking. He's with the business. At that time, the woodpile, Wasco Reception, Building 5, there's a lot of tension between us and the blacks. A couple little melees. Real close with a couple full-blown riots. And Billy was right there in the middle of it. Represented the fullest, just ready to get it. On deck, ready to sling them. Trying to kick up dust. But you know what he kept talking about? You know what was in his mouth real tough? Black socks. Black socks. That's a gang that Billy had just started, he said. He said he just started this gang called Black Socks. And to hear him tell it, the reason why it was a Black Socks, because white socks, you walk on white. So if you have white socks, you're walking on white. So that's why he says Black Socks for him and his, and that was his gang. And he was going around blasting it, and it was in his mouth tough. And he actually started that gang, Black Socks, Billy did, with another guy named Billy. I guess from here on out, we should go ahead and just call him Billy 1. It was a dude who I came up with who messed with Shameless Old Lady, and Billy 2. Who actually, I have brought Billy 2 up in a story. Before, you guys have already heard about Billy 2, but Billy 1 and Billy 2 started Black Socks together. But let me tell you about how you heard about Billy 2 before. It's in that story where I went to county jail and lost my mind. I went in there and I was definitely living in a parallel universe. I was definitely in my own reality. I was in La La Land. And at the time, I thought it's because when I went to jail, it's because I wrecked my truck into a van. I rear-ended a van. When I hit the van, my head hit the steering wheel. And I went into county jail out of my mind. I'm thinking it's because of the wreck. But then as it turns out, talking to people and hearing different stories, as it turns out, I had to reflect and remind myself I was taking 4 or 5 Clonopin a day. And if you know anything about Xanax and Clonopin, you start messing with those kinds of pills. And if you get addicted to them, if you catch a habit, when you come off of them, you'll be in Psycho City. You'll be out of your mind. I was definitely in county jail out of my mind to such a degree that I went over to the black side of the day room. I went and sat down at the blacks table, because there is the blacks table and there is the whites table in Kern County Jail. Pre-trial, D-Pod. I went over to the blacks table, saw a black dude who was shuffling pinochle cards. I said, you don't know nothing about that. You don't know how to sling those cards. Called him out to a pinochle game. He said, what's up then? Because a black dude can play cards with a white dude and face no repercussion, but a white dude most certainly cannot play cards with a black dude, especially the black day room and the black table. Never that. But I'm out of my mind. I'm in my own reality, a parallel universe. I sit down at this table with this dude, and we start slinging a game of pinochle. Some white dudes start gathering around, looking at me like, Splinter, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Yes, I did. That's beside the point. Splinter, what's going on? It's not even registering that all these dudes are standing around tripping on me. Not until Billy number 2 comes walking out of his cell, because he had the pod. He had the keys to the pod. And he walks up, and as soon as I see him, I had a moment of clarity. I knew I was doing something wrong. I knew I should not have been playing pinochle with this black dude at his table. So I put the cards down to Billy. He thought it was a heart check. He said, Splinter, you trying to heart check me? Do you think I won't have you disciplined? And I was like, no, brother, I know you will. You know, it's not a heart check. My bad. And I wasn't thinking clearly. I'll break off 123 burpees for the house. He's like, all right, bro, and just walked away. It's kind of like he didn't even want to deal with it. I think he tried to even forget that he even saw it and was just like, okay, whatever, bro. Do your burpees. So I went in the corner, broke off 123 burpees for the house. still continue to live in a fog, for sure. Didn't snap out of her for some weeks yet. Be that as it may, homeboy, Billy 1 and Billy 2 start this game Black Sox. But I'm in Wasco Reception, Building 5 with Billy 1. And he's banging this Black Sox hella hard all up until the day he paroles. Finally, he paroled. He went home. They took him out of his cell. And the very next day, oh, everything I love, bro, I shit you not. The very next day, we get a kite from the hole. Now, it's difficult to get a kite from the hole because how do you get it? Someone has to actually leave the hole. Someone will leave the hole with kites hooped up their arse, and they will get them to where they need to go. But it's not like you're just getting them every day. It doesn't flow like Pony Express, brother. You got to wait on those kites sometimes a couple weeks. And also, hey, good luck getting one back in. So we got a kite from the hole saying, attention, woodpile. If anybody at all in your building or in your presence or someone that you know, or if there's someone that you know that they know, if there's anybody at all that is from that gang Black Sox, you have them report to the hole immediately. They are to denounce that gang. And they're to report to the hole ASAP. Bro, Billy was in so much shit. I can't believe he escaped by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Because had he been there when that kite arrived, and because those skinheads that had that Building 5 and I was there from Orange County were full blast with the business, bro. They would have loved to just see this play out. They were mad when they got the kite, saying if anyone is there from Black Sox into the hole, they're like, damn, Billy just left yesterday. If he was still here, we could politic this all the way down to the end. They would have sent him to the hole. They would have sent him there to answer for it. Because Black Sox, as it turns out, the reason why they were in so much trouble, the reason why they had to denounce it, the reason why they had to get to the hole, is because the Black Sox, they threw it out there that they were a prison gang. A prison gang. So as soon as the fellas in D6 and the whole at Wasco Reception, the whole at Wasco State Prison heard that there's a gang called Black Sox, and they're saying that they're a prison gang, they're talking about, they reported the hole immediately, and they got to denounce the gang. Because there's only one prison gang. There's only one prison gang, and there is no other. So if anyone's claiming to be a prison gang, they're going to stomp you out you don't exist. They're going to make sure you never even say that name again. If you just happen to have tattooed on you, guess what? That tattoo's going to come off. They got to denounce a full blast. This ain't no joke. And Billy barely escaped out of there by the hair of his chinny chin chin. And I guarantee by now, that whole Black Sox gang has been just, it's a memory. It's a distant memory. And it would have been so hard for him to get to the hole. I have not even told the story about Bart Simpson yet. The dude who showed up at Wasco Reception saying he was a brand member from the feds. And guess what? A kite came for him too. He has to report to the hole immediately. Dude, it's hard to get to the hole. Because there's so many brand members back there. There's so many dudes back there from the Mexican Mafia. And all the inmates, all the convicts want to go back to the hole to meet their big homies. To take them stuff, to take them kites, to talk to them, to be near them. And they're trying to call people back. They're sending this dude back either to come back with a care package, to come back with love, or to come back because they're in trouble, homeboy, and they're getting called. So you almost have to bust like a serious move. They would have sent Billy on a mission. They would have broke out one of those things. They would have made sure he got to the hole. To answer for that whole Black Sox affair. So anyways, we're going to leave it right there. Hey, that rhymed, the whole Black Sox affair. We're going to leave it right there. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut the string and let it fly. Peace.